Okay. Hey there. Happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday afternoon. So, it is really, really cold outside. And I was thinking of doing this whole talk outside. But then I walked outside and I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So, um, because it's Saturday, all my kids are home and my house is loud and will probably get interrupted. So there you go. There's the FYI on this whole thing. But I wanted to take an opportunity to check in here and to share what's kind of going on, that's kind of coming up. And if you've read some of the stuff that I've written this morning and everything, and you'll kind of have a taste on that. And it's all based on triggers. And so, how I roll is to just kind of be raw, be open, and share different things that might be rising up for me or that I'm noticing coming through with clients or with friends. And when we break it all down, everything is about relationship. As I was making my tea just now, I was thinking about, I really am a relationship coach. I've tried to move out of relationship coaching in a way because I'm working a lot with business owners and entrepreneurs and doing a lot of success mindset training and focus around that and abundance, law of attraction, prosperity coaching. But when you even get down to that, when you really get down to the basics of what prosperity coaching is and what prosperity living is, right? To be prosperous, it's all about having a really good relationship with energy, with the creator, with God, with universe, with, a source, whatever name you want to give it. I'm not going to get caught up on that, but it's about that relationship there, right? And then it comes down to the next relationship. That's the next most important relationship that we have to deal with on anything, is the relationship that we have with self. And so many of us, we hide, or we start to touch in these waters of the dark and the unknown within ourselves, and it scares us. So we go into hiding and we retreat and we get all surface level and we start to go, oh, I'm going to just talk about this, or I'm just going to do this. I'm going to kind of act like that's not really there. I'm going to act like that's not really there. And I just noticed how cool this is, that this filter and the lighting of where I'm sitting in my bedroom, that there's like this light here, so it's like I'm going into the unknown. Like I'm like going into the unknown. There you go. All right, there it is. I'm being a little bit goofy. But no, it's like you move into this unknown space and you don't really know what's there, right? But in relationship, when we enter into relationship with somebody, it is this unknown space. It is an unknown person. We don't really truly know them, right? And it is like moving into this unknown space, and we don't know what we're going to find there. We don't know the mysteries. We don't know the things that are there. But we get caught up in what we see. We get caught up in the bling, in the shininess, in the euphoria that we're feeling in that relationship. We start to feel all of this yummy good stuff, but we don't really know what's underneath the surface. And what relationship does, any relationship, especially the relationship that we have with another human being, is that it brings to the forefront all the stuff that we have inside of us. It is how we relate to ourselves, how we love ourselves, how we forgive ourselves, how we are open to receiving or not to receiving. And then it also reveals our relationship with God, with source energy. Like how is that real true relationship there? Because it is just a trickle down, much like anything else, much like the physical manifestation of an illness in your body. It does not just all of a sudden, boom, you've got cancer. No, that's not how that shit works. It does not work like that. That is the last place that it manifests. It has manifested at a mental, emotional level before that, and it has manifested at a spiritual, energetic level prior to that. Well, relationship is exactly the same thing. The things that we go through in relationship, what we are seeing in the relationships that we have with another human being, actually stems from the relationship of the internal world. And it then stems back to the relationship with God, the creator. Okay? So it really is the exact same trickle down, trickle down, trickle down. You got issues rising up within a relationship. You got questions. You've got different things that you feel like blockages. You're feeling triggered around things. Look internally and then go upward. an upward meaning, you know, outside of yourself. Go back to that source, touch into your soul, get into that soul alignment, and ask yourself those deep questions that make you go into those scary closets of self, of the divine, to really reveal what is going on there. So, interesting little tale here. I've actually been triggered myself in the last 24 hours pretty massively, and normally I would wait a couple days to share this because I would like to process through it, and I don't want to ever use conscious coffee necessarily as my own therapy space. But today, that's just not the way that's going to roll, because I really want you to feel what's going on. I want you to be able to tap into the energy, into the passion there, into the wounding and that revealing of the healing to that wounding that is being offered. Okay, so I'm going to just use myself as a specimen, as a raw specimen for everybody else to just kind of move through and go, oh yeah, I felt that before, or what the fuck is she talking about, or whatever the heck comes up for you. I don't really care. I'm just going to be raw and real and kind of hit you with what's going on, because triggers are they're just part of our world. They're part of our life, and it is the emotional triggers that really truly affect us. So let me get a sip here. Thank you, Addison. Welcome to therapy. Hit us with it. Okay, so I'm going to be, I don't know what I'm going to be. We'll just see what I'm going to be, right? Maybe I'm going to move into the unknown. There we go. I'm going to move into it. No. So I've been dancing around with another energy in my life, and this energy, I've been like, why is this energy in my life? You know, what is it here to share with me, to reveal to me? And I really do enter into all relationship, whether it is a relationship with a client, a relationship with a lover, a relationship with my children, with friends, or, you know, family. It doesn't much matter. I'm always looking at what is being revealed to me, and, you know, I don't really worry about what I'm offering the other person in the lesson, because that's their lesson. I'm trying to get my lesson. I'm trying to get my remembrance on it so that I can be the best person that I can be, show up the best that I can show up, and just have faith that whatever needs to move through me and be spoken and revealed will do so and impact, influence others the way it was supposed to. So, there's that little tidbit on that. So with this particular relationship, my trigger goes back to a very deep, heart-centered relationship, and there's multiple things going on here. Number one, I in the last 24 hours, there was a promise, you could say, that was made, a statement of like, you know, like, okay, an expectation was set. Let's just say that this expectation was set, and it's a really small expectation. Okay, it's nothing big. This is not anything majorly traumatic by any means. It's just something really small. So this little expectation got set, and then it was broken. Okay, so you could say it was just basically just poof, let go. Okay, without word, without any reason, without anything. It was just boom, gone. So here I am anticipating, thinking about this. It's like, okay, I've set my day up to have this happen, have this happen. I've reworked schedule. It was very impromptu. So it wasn't really necessarily planned even. But there was the, hey, boom, here's the expectation. Okay, so you could just say, all right, we're just going to call this a date. So there was this date met and set, and then, you know, that expectation of that timeline to be there, and then nothing. Okay, so as I told actually Addison last night, I said, I've never been stood up before, and she's like, you've never been stood up before? I'm like, never been stood up by a man before. This is very interesting. Like, I've been stood up on consults, I've been stood up on my client appointments, my kids will stand me up, but I've never had a male friend or a lover or ever stand me up without any, you know, explanation or word or anything like that. So to say, hey, do you want to meet, and then boom, nothing, fall off the face of the planet type stuff. I was like, this is weird. This is really weird, which It does not matter. In the big scheme of things, that particular event does not matter. It's what it triggered inside of me. And here's the good juicy stuff, guys. Here's the stuff that when little stuff like this happens to us, that we really need to dig in and do that internal investigative work, because it reveals different things inside of us, right? So it helps us to heal old wounds. It helps us to move through different things that can trigger, that can offset other relationships, because our old relationships can sabotage our new relationships. And we don't even see it happening unless we become in tune and conscious to what is going on in our own internal world. We never see this stuff coming. And then all of a sudden, a really great friendship will just blow up for no reason. Or we'll start dating this person and then something will happen and we don't even realize that we got triggered in, and boom, it just blows up on us, okay? Or we get a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, and then we have these multiple triggers and we're just ignoring, and we don't realize what's going on until it's too late, until it just dissipates on us, until it just blows up. It's gone, okay? And we go, why? Well, what I ended up doing was I looked at it and I was like, this is really triggering me. This is absolutely really, really triggering me. And I can't quite figure out why. So as I did the work on that and I started to look at it, I was like, I'm triggered because I felt these emotions before. I've triggered because I've experienced this before. And what it brought me back to was a 7+ year relationship that I had given my heart and soul to, that I had fully revealed myself to, that was very, very vulnerable and fully surrendered to this man. So it was like true love, like this could be the one type thing in this lifetime, right? So you could say that. And I realized that particular relationship quite frequently offered me with this just letdown of no explanation, of not communicating, of not allowing, of really kind of sidestepping what was going on and not letting me be seen, be heard. And it was making me feel as though I wasn't even worthy of being seen or heard or knowing what was really truly going on. Okay. So as I got into that, I went, wow. Now here's where the interesting point is that just about a week ago in my journaling, I was, and this is what I want to really get through to you, that the power of manifestation and the power of what our souls can do when they are speaking to us, and when we can't quite hear the messages, how they'll use our outside world to get us to come to those messages. So about a week ago, I was journaling and I was doing some clearing work around this beautiful love relationship that I had for 7.5 years. Okay. So I was doing some clearing work because I'm coming up on the 1 year, well, I actually just went through the 1 year release of this relationship. Okay. So it was a complete total release of the relationship. So I've been doing a lot of clearing work because little things have been coming up inside of me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just I'm not going to attach. I'm going to let this go. I'm doing this in love. Like we're both moving forward in our best, highest good. This is all perfect, right? So I'm trying to put as much unconditional love out there towards it. In that process, I had this come up to me and I actually journaled on it, that the one thing that I did not ever want to call back into my life again was a man that was not comfortable when, after we got very stable in a relationship, after we got, past those awkward points, to not feel comfortable with introducing me to friends, to family, or to letting me know when something important was going on in their life, to just to not leave me hanging out there. And what I've noticed, interestingly enough, is that this was number three in the last week of people that came into my life, said something, and then flipped and did something completely different and never even bothered to share what was going on. Just completely just kind of let it go. So gave me that feeling, which I was not being fully conscious of, but gave me that feeling of, I'm not really worthy of knowing this. I don't mean enough to them for them to say, hey, that's not gonna work. Hey, we need to reschedule. Hey, we need to postpone. Hey, I'm really sick and I can't get together. So interesting, right? Here's the thing. Love all these people. They're all beautiful. They're all amazing. And I'm actually in gratitude for them letting source, consciously or unconsciously, move through them to kind of share message with me. Because what it's allowing me to do is to look inward and really clarify. And here's how we move through the stuff, how we can really clarify. And that's why we are given these opportunities, these messages, as I'm choosing to look at this, is a message to clarify exactly what you do want. So if you're ever out there kind of tempted to lean this way or tempted to lean that way, and you're like, oh, but the package has so much to offer. And I'm going to bring this back to love relationships because that's what I deal with a lot. I mean, I work with a lot of couples. I work with a lot of single people who want good love relationships. So I'm going to just bring this back to love relationship, okay? So what do we want to do? We don't want to be alone. We don't want to be single. Single's bad. Lonely's bad. Being alone is bad. So we're told, right? We all want that honeymoon, that lasts forever. The Hollywood idea of in love forever, and just happily ever after. Now, that's all a bunch of bull. There is always struggle. There is always challenges. There's always, little upheavals in relationship. And as we go deeper into those relationships, but what are we truly wanting? We're wanting to call in that other person that matches us, that supports us, that holds space for us, that loves us authentically and unconditionally. And what do? We meet somebody and man, their package is great. And they're just bop, 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 bop. And we just, they hit the top 10 things on our list and we love it to death. We cannot believe our good fortune in this moment. So what do? We buy in, right? We put it all in there. We buy into the package. We sell out. We wrap ourselves into it and we just go, yes, yes, yes. And we completely buy into that. Never really gaining clarity, though, to what we really truly want. Only looking at these small pieces. Well, then all of a sudden we get into this relationship. We have these little triggers happen. And all of a sudden what happens? Right? Blow up, right? This happens, that happens, all this shit happens. And it blows up and then we go, why did that happen? Well, what it's doing is it's offering us another opportunity to clarify exactly what we want in that relationship. What do we want in our life, in our world? What is the kind of person that we want? What are those things that we actually need to have met, to have matched in order to be happy, in order to be connected, in order to be in true alignment with another person so that we can move forward and accomplish all those beautiful dreams and goals that we have for that couplehood, right? That is all it is ever giving us, is the opportunity to clarify. So, old relationships can really mess up new relationships if we're not conscious to it. If we open up into a state of consciousness and we start to look at it and we really truly look at it and we start see it for what it is and we notice what those triggers are and we go back and we find those triggers and we feel into them and we use that to give ourselves that clarity, then what it is actually doing every time we get triggered in any relationship is helping us identify exactly what our soul wants us to have, exactly what we should be calling in. So it's actually a really good thing. Triggers are good things. It triggers us to analyze. It triggers us to clarify. It triggers us to get into alignment with what our soul truly desires and wants and what we really are worthy of, what we really can have, and then go manifest that. If we choose to stay focused on what we want and not on what the trigger was. Okay, so that's the key there. Don't focus on the trigger. Learn from the trigger, gain your clarity from the trigger, and then focus in on exactly what you want. Okay, guys, I feel very complete with that. I am going to read what Phil here says. Hi, Kendal. First, relationship is with your own self, just as you said. And yes, if we have denied or been denied, being able to know our own self, this is the starting point. And how does, I don't know, if I go away by clicking on this, forgive me, I'll be right back somehow. Oh, it didn't. Oh my goodness, Phil, you wrote a book, man. Oh, okay. Okay, everybody. Phil wrote a book. Love you. I truly believe a starting point. And how does one do this? I truly believe you can explore and find the way to do this. First, by using hypnotherapy to grow new self-beliefs, by finding the inner child core beliefs we need. These beliefs. All right, everybody. Everybody's going to have to go and read this because he is giving some actually great links here as to how to move through things and different stuff, some hypnosis audio recordings. So I'm going to just encourage anybody who is catching this on my Facebook profile to look in the comment section and explore what is in the comment section, because there's some great shares in here, and all on doing inner work. So thank you. I'm not going to go ahead and read all of this, but thank you, Phil, for sharing that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ron, for sharing. Hi, Amy. Good. I'm glad that this touched you. Afternoon, Titus, Paula. Okay, everybody. There's a whole bunch of people on here. Hi, Dawn, Eric. Of course, Stephen Addison. Okay, so there you guys go. That was my thoughts just from the triggers of the last week, especially yesterday, which was just strike 3, you could say, on the trigger spectrum, and what I really got to gain from it, which was clarity, which I'm in total gratitude for. So thank you for the triggers. Thank you for the therapy work share here, letting me process that out and share it with you. Hopefully I did touch a whole bunch of people with this little share here, intimacy on my personal triggers and personal life out there. As always, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. Of course, you can follow me here on my profile, on my coaching page, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. I am all over the place. So, okay, I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.